name is Ryan Fries, and I'm doing my oral presentation on the external factors of technological changes affecting Ford. In this day and age in the auto industry, many companies are shifting their focus towards more driverless and electric cars within their industry. With the growing number of supporters who are witnessing the constant technological changes affecting these companies, the pace of electrification is quickly gaining traction and profit, but for some companies it is proving to be much more difficult to keep up than it is for others. Investors largely view Ford as lagging behind in this competition for a number of reasons that they're still trying to find solutions for. Unfortunately, a number of these reasons stem from their ex-CEO, Mark Fields, who was hindering Ford's progression from years prior. The CEO at the time, James Hackett, had plans to transform Ford into a more driverless and electric-friendly company, and he even mentioned in an interview with how happy he was with the pace that they were at. He even added on to that, saying that they were ahead of where they thought they would be. Mr. Hackett has made great efforts in saving Ford over $25 billion by 2022 by phasing out their more undesirable and unprofitable models. By doing this, they were able to achieve this goal by 2020. However, many investors and news sources were taking the wait and see how it works out approach, since Ford has made many large statements like this in the past but any evidence to show for it yet. But for Ford's decision to abandon this many non-profitable vehicles was relative to its profit improvement potential and significant on its own, since at the same time, the percent of sales for trucks, vans, and off-road vehicles have gone up. And this was a trend that was being followed by a majority of companies that it became such an issue that it was starting to become an issue on the overall fuel economy. In more recent years, Ford's become a lot more focused on selling and producing trucks, and they also made more plans to phase out more vehicles down the line, leaving all but 2 passenger car models remaining. Since back in 2010, light trucks only accounted for around 50% of sales, but that number has now risen to 68% of sales. And this was also a trend that was being followed by a majority of companies to make their cars larger in size, or supersize as they call it. The auto industry claims that the reason for this shift is purely in response to consumer demand, but many people, including the Wall Street Journal, say that the reason for this is to make our cars more efficient and how it motivates automakers to make cars larger to comply with fuel economy regulations. A study was done on size-based regulations to see if it actually was effective or not, and the results proved that it showed that it's not as effective. It actually distorts the market along the way, since by using these standards, you'll find a buyer is going to have a harder time finding an optimally sized vehicle. They claim that you can solve this issue by using a different kind of standard called flat standard, which is a fuel economy standard that does not base the price of the vehicle off its weight. And by using this standard, you can achieve the government's goal for efficiency and half of the compliance cost of size-based regulation. Fortunately for Ford, they do not have to be making any huge strides to pay for profits for a while, with their new CEO coming in, Mr. Jim Farley, pledging a tremendous $29 billion in connecting their company to the internet. In addition, made a partnership with Google. Mr. Farley's been going around and tidying up all around the company and improving profitability before moving on. Overall, he actually had ideas to invest into battery production, but decided against it because of the global shortage of semiconductors. Overall, 2020 was a great year for Ford, since they were actually likely to hit the trough of their profits, and these profits have been declining for 3 years previously. The credit goes to the sales and profits that they've received from selling their brand new all-electric powered Mustang Mach-E, their newest F-150, and their brand new Bronco, which they expect to make around $8 to $9 billion from it. Ford since then, stocks have gone up 29%, putting them in line with their rival GM after many years of underperformance. And another company to give credit to is Google, since their partnership has prompted a wave of trades for new investors. In conclusion, I found that the technological changes affecting Ford is a vital external factor compared to most other factors, since Ford long had issues with keeping up with the ever-growing and quickly growing technological friendly economy. But now that they have the real potential for funding and research, this event could skyrocket them out of the rut of old age technology that they have been struggling to get out for so long, and put them in line with new age thriving companies like Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid Motors, who companies like Rivian who made over $10 billion in profits on their first day of trading alone. Thank you very much.